Hey everybody, Conrad Zimmerman here, and I'm going to answer some more of the questions off of my Ask FM page. If you want to ask me a question, you just do it on that site that lists right there, that thing, and perhaps I will answer yours as well. My first question today is, are there any video games that you feel are must-experience works of art? I mean, there are games that I would say that if you're interested in the medium of games as an art form, you should probably check out. Games like Portal, which I think really presents, especially at the time, presented a real revelation in terms of mechanical design and narrative storytelling in games. But at the same time, I would also encourage people to go and check out a game like Breakout, which really just kind of is a boiled down, simple game that really kind of typifies what games are. You have an objective, you have your point scoring system. I mean, it just sort of, down to its base roots, Breakout is a game, and that's one that I if people wanted to think about games as works of art, that's one that I would encourage people to play. Which sounds kind of silly to say out loud, but Breakout, there's something to it. There's something about it. It's just such a pure game experience. Next question. Do you stroke your mustache when deep in thought? No. Next. MMO? Now, I'm assuming people are asking if I play MMOs or if I'm interested in them. I'm not a big multiplayer guy in general, so if you take an idea that I already am not all that into, I mean online multiplayer, but you take a concept that I'm already not that into and then you make it massive, I'm just generally massively not interested. I played Ultima Online many years ago, and I actually quite enjoyed that for a while until I came to the conclusion that what I was doing was basically another job that I was paying for the privilege to perform, and I got kind of burnt out on it. And after that, I would occasionally dabble. I played Guild Wars 2 briefly when it was in beta and then at launch again, and there's some interesting stuff there, but I prefer my gaming experiences to be a little more intimate, I think, than that. I like them to be things I either play by myself or things that I play with people that I know. And I'm not that interested in building relationships in games and so forth. I'm more interested in exploring the relationships I already have with people in a deeper manner through games. So I tend to not play them. And besides which, they require such an investment of time and energy that there's just too many games out there that I want to play to dedicate myself that severely to one. So yeah, I don't really do the MMO thing. Next question. Ever thought about moving to the other Portland for lobster and legal weed? I like lobster, for sure. That's a thing I enjoy. But I really like the West Coast. I lived out east in Pennsylvania earlier on. Every time I go back there, I enjoy visiting the East Coast, but I don't have any desire to live there. It gets just a little too cold. And Portland, Maine sounds like it would be a very, very cold place to live a lot of the year, and that just no thanks. And one more. Two more questions. Sorry. Next is Nintendo 3DS, 3D on or off. When I use my 3DS, which is pretty limited, most of what I do is virtual console games, for which the 3D isn't even necessary. I play a lot of old Zelda. When I'm playing a 3D capable game, the 3D might be flicked on for a moment just to see what it looks like, but generally speaking, I find that the mode is kind of a pain in the butt to use, in that I have to hold it a specific distance, which could be uncomfortable, and it just kind of bugs my eyes after a bit, always having to sort of, try to adjust my vision and then adjust my hands, and it's not worth it for me. I don't see any way in which the addition of the 3D element enhances my enjoyment of the game any more than if it's flat, and in a lot of ways it's detrimental to it, so I just keep 3D off. Now the last question. Would you rather live on a Martian colony or in Albuquerque? This is a very difficult question. I mean, I don't know what kind of Martians we're dealing with. Are they peaceful Martians? Are they the Martians out of Stranger in a Strange Land who are going to teach me how to grok in fullness? At the same time, Albuquerque is pretty boring. I mean, I expect a Martian colony would be pretty miserable. You really want that sort of thing to get been built up and turned into a real city and a civilization before you move. A colony of any kind seems really unappealing. And I've been to Albuquerque, and while it's boring, from what I've seen, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on. I've done desert before. I spent 20 years living in Arizona, and I think I'd rather go with the devil I know in that circumstance. So I'd have to choose Albuquerque, as unexciting as that sounds. If you have a question that you would like to ask me, again, don't forget, you can just go hit up the Ask FM thing right there. You can also follow me on Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We've got some really cool gameplay video stuff go up this week. I've played Tesla Grad, I've played Samurai Gun with Jordan DeVore. Lots of cool stuff to come too, so make sure you subscribe, and thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.